Well, the topic today is on being happy. I think happiness is probably one of the most important things in anyone's life. It's one of the things that we all strive for on a daily, consistent basis. And, you know, what's the point in not being happy, really? What's the point in living if you're not living a happy life? So, I wanted to talk about a few of the things in my life that have actually really helped me with being happy. And one of the first things that I've been able to do on a consistent basis to help keep me happy, even when I've been very upset or depressed or down for whatever reason, has been listening to motivational content. And I'm sure a lot of you, God, it blows my mind how many people don't listen to anything that's uplifting or personal development or anything like that. Blows me away. But you don't know what you don't know because you don't know it. So if you don't realize there's a better way to live and you've been brought up in the system like most people have, then I'm gonna have to remember to turn off all these notifications on my phone so I don't get distracted. Um, then you don't know anything else is out there. My self-development journey began when I turned, I think, 16. See, look at all this. Um, when I turned 16, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it fundamentally shifted my entire life. Most entrepreneurs that I know of, not in particular dancers, but other people, real estate investors, marketers, just entrepreneurs in general, have all read that book. Um, it's about this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, that when he was a kid, his biological father was poor and his stepdad was rich, and he spent half the time at his real dad's house and half the time at his stepdad's house, and he got to see the differences between how they lived. One was very rich or one was very poor, and one was very rich, and Robert would ask, his different dads all these different questions, and he ended up just writing a whole book on the differences between being wealthy and being poor, the different kind of mindset. It's a mindset. Being wealthy is a mindset. And the people that are out there right now that are filthy rich, the people out there right now that are just rich in general, if you were to take everything away from them, they would know how to get it back because it's up here. It's not necessarily, a circumstance kind of thing. Those circumstances, you can put yourself in the right circumstances and the wrong circumstances to make things happen. I mean, for example, right now, I'm dealing with not having internet hardly, and oh my God, has it been? Oh, it's been a challenge. Oh my God, it's been really hard. I think I have someone coming out to install internet in 2 days. I hope. But so many of the things that I want to do business-wise, being online, making content, all kinds of stuff like that, has been really hard. So putting yourself in the right type of position to make these things happen is really, really important. But yeah, I don't know how I got off on that topic. When it comes to being happy, when it comes to staying happy, there are a few things that have really, really helped me, and motivational content was definitely one of them. It's it's something that no matter what, it's helped me get out of bed on lots of occasions. If you're in bed and you are upset, especially if you're a dancer, because, we don't have time frames, especially right now, none of us are working. Well, a lot of us aren't working. A lot of us have transitioned into online work, but you still set your own schedule. So if you don't have to get up, chances are, if you don't want to get up, you're not going to get up. And a lot of us, I'm sure, have a lot of things that we need to take care of, but we're not taking care of them if we're in a bad mood. So you pull out your phone, which is probably laying right next to you anyway, and you start to just type in motivational content on YouTube, and you can find all kinds of stuff that's gonna make you feel, like a different person. I was in a really bad depression hole until probably a few weeks ago. It was really bad. It was really bad, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and I saw this video, and I've been listening to it like constantly. Can't believe I don't remember what it's called right now. I'm logged in on a different profile on this one. I'll leave a link to it. It's really important. So, but it pulled me out of a hole like really quickly, and made me realize, okay, you got a lot of shit you need to do, and listening to this kind of content is really going to help wake me up and make me realize that, you know, if you're not living your life on purpose, if you're just going through the motions and trying to make enough money to scrape by, what are we doing here? Life is not, it's not good enough. It's not fun enough. It's not like, it's not happy enough if if you don't really have an aim in life. Why would you put yourself through life if you don't really have an aim in life? And that's something that Napoleon Hill talked about. I adore this guy, and he's the one that was in the audio that pulled me out of my depression slum. But he says that the cost and the wear and tear of regular life is so not worth it if you're not going for an ultimate goal, if you don't have a real desire. And a lot of people probably don't know what theirs is, and they probably won't for a long time. I mean, you know, if you're in your early 20s, you're probably not going to figure out what your purpose is or what you want to make your purpose. Because I don't know that everybody has an actual, I don't know that everyone comes to the earth with a purpose. I think you kind of decide what that is based on your life circumstances. And I think for a lot of people, it has something to do with the pain that you've been through. If you've been through a lot of pain in your life, I think a lot of people build their life purpose around pain. If you know, let's say you live in a very abusive family, I mean, your purpose in life, you might find, is to help other children or something that have been hardcore abused or any type of abused. You know, for me, I got a couple. I've got a couple, but one of them was helping entertainers because I feel like I got dealt a really lucky hand of cards in life. My parents are, oh my God, I love my parents so much, and they've been so good to me, and they've really loved me a lot, and I just feel like I got really lucky. So I had a lot of time I was homeschooled because I asked my mom to pull me out of school, and she pulled me out immediately. I hated school, and that gave me a lot of time to really study and to think, and that's why I know so much stuff that most people don't know, is because I've been able to actually take control of my life and do what I've really wanted to do with it. So, you know, and I've got, oh my God, so much other stuff that I want to do, but I'm very thankful. So that's part of the reason why I started a YouTube channel, is because I felt like I had a lot of information that I wanted to help people with, even though I didn't actually want to start a YouTube channel. But I had a lot of information that I really wanted to get out there because I felt the desire to help people to get out there, or to understand and to learn and to know and whatever. And I have a unique angle because I am a dancer. So I know there's a lot of girls that will relate to me that might not relate to the people that I've learned from. So like Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and all these, you know, crazy inspirational, motivational teachers and whatever. A lot of girls, especially younger girls at this point, I mean, I don't know that this is true, but I feel like their content is timeless, really, I do. But a lot, you know, a lot of females, a lot of people in general might not ever find these people if it wasn't for me. If, you know, if I didn't connect with you because you're an entertainer as well, you might never have found these people because you don't know what you don't know, because you don't know it. So if you had no clue that there was a better way to live, there was a happier way to live, then, you know, you might never get there. So listening to motivational content has been one of the things that has ultimately really helped me keep going. And another thing that's really helped me keep going, another thing that's really helped me to keep going, is to realize that if you give up, things are only going to get worse. It's not like if you just give up and you just cave, you're like, oh, life is too hard, you know. It's not like things are going to get better. They're only going to get worse. So there really isn't an option. You just kind of have to keep going, you know. In my opinion, you just kind of have to keep going. So, but it's things like listening to motivation that I think can really pull you out of that hole. So next is L-tryptophan, and I think some of you have probably heard me mention L-tryptophan before. It's a supplement that I don't know how it works, but I've taken a lot of different supplements before, and a lot. And L-tryptophan is one of the only things I've ever taken that I felt a difference like really fast. I was driving down, I was living in Clearwater, I think I was living on Clearwater Beach at the time, and I was driving down the causeway to get from Clearwater to Tampa, and I had probably been on L-tryptophan for like a week, maybe a few days, and all of a sudden I just got the biggest smile on my face that was just like plastered there. I mentioned this yesterday, kind of like when I was sun gazing. Same thing happened then. And I was like, what is this? After like 30 seconds, I was like, why am I smiling like this? And I started to like really think about it, like what's going on? And I realized the only thing that had changed was I was taking L-tryptophan. That's the only difference. That's the only thing that had changed. So, so L-tryptophan is something that, man, if you're feeling depressed, and there's a lot of research online about this. I told this to somebody once and they looked into it and she was like, I'm gonna get this immediately. I didn't follow up with her. I don't know if she ended up taking it or not, but definitely something to look into if you want to just be happy on a daily basis. Just take one L-tryptophan pill a day. I'll tell you what, I think it works like magic. So I think the brand that I got was called the Now brand. Another thing is uplifting music. I've mentioned music before on multiple times. What music can do to your brain is fascinating. You put somebody on, like you hook up somebody's brains to all these like different like, I don't know how these little electrical things work, but their whole brain will light up, all of it. Like when you're reading, when you're doing all, whatever type of different activity during the day, it's when you're listening to music that your whole brain can light up. So, and meditation, actually. I believe during a deep kind of meditation, you can also have your whole brain just like light up like a Christmas tree, which is pretty cool. So, and actually another thing that's, I think, oh gosh, so important, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like going to work. I don't like going to strip clubs in an environment that I can't control the music and stuff, is because of the music, is because of some of the stuff that they play. The stuff that has the type of music that's normal, that has all kinds of just very negative, horrible things to say, that kind of stuff gets stuck in your mind. And that is programming to your subconscious mind. And what it can do to you is not good. It's not healthy. I was reading a book called Power versus Force, which is hands down, it is the best book I believe I have ever, oh my God, it's a book I really should do a review on at some point, actually, because I think it's a really important book for most people to read. But one of the things that he talked about was heavy metal music. Apparently, everything in life is a vibration, right? We're all vibrating at a certain frequency. We're all energy. And he talks about the frequency, the energy of heavy metal music getting deep into your soul, and basically kind of being music that can make you want to commit suicide and have super dark thoughts. And there's a guy named Tim Ferriss that he listens to that kind of music all the time, and you would look at this guy and think he's got it completely made. And he has been dealing with depression on and off, I think his whole life, most of his whole life. And when I heard this, because I know he listens to heavy metal music like all the time, at least I know he did, I don't know if he still does, but I think that could be in part of the reason why, thoughts of suicide are there, is because it's super toxic. Heavy metal, so wouldn't think it would take a rocket scientist to find out that kind of music is super toxic. So another thing that is really good for making you happy is chocolate. Chocolate is very good for your, depending on the type of chocolate. If you're getting, I'm not saying go get a Snickers, because that's, the sugar in that is bullshit and whatever, but you can get really good organic sugar, organic chocolate that's not bad for you. Cacao is something that I wouldn't say it necessarily really tastes good. If you add honey, it tastes really good, like really, really good. And it's a very I don't know how to describe it. It's a very serious kind of deep chocolate. They can really help you to feel really good. Same with honey. So sunshine and grounding, those are two of the biggest things that have really helped me out a lot when it comes to being happy and staying very happy is the sun, going to the beach and having my toes in the sand and the sunshine on my face. I think that's probably one of the biggest things in my life that's really helped keep me happy. So that one for sure. And there's science behind all of this. So I'm working on getting more organized. I'll make these lessons a lot more better, but for right now, this is a 30-day experiment that I'm just going with. So, I'm just winging it for the moment. And I've been feeling very, very sleepy lately. So I'm going through a detox program, and detoxing, wow, you can feel the shit coming out of your, like deep inside you. And there's that Herxheimer's reaction, I think is what they call it, that you feel worse before you feel better. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Another thing that has always really helped me feel a lot happier about life in general is traveling. I mean, you can learn so much from traveling that it can give you so many different perspectives and can really help, all these different stories about these different places that, the media will put out there. This place is bad, this place is good, this is that, that'll make you never want to travel, that'll make you afraid of a certain type of person, all that bullshit. Like, that's exactly what I've noticed it to be, is bullshit. And after you start to travel and you start to get to know these different people from these different places that are supposedly so horrible, and I'm not saying that not every place in these places isn't horrible, right? Like, the only place I've ever been straight up robbed from me, was in Miami, and I lived in Miami, And so it's not like all these places that are out there. Like, there's always places that are local that are also, bad. Maybe not always, but to cut yourself off from the rest of the world because other people have told you not to go somewhere, not to do something, I don't see it. Like, maybe I've just gotten lucky, but traveling has definitely been one of the biggest, has made me, it's been one of the things that's made me the happiest. So, I don't know if anyone said anything. I haven't been looking, but if anyone has any questions for me, I'd like to answer some questions. That in the meantime, I'm going to tell you guys my, one of my favorite traveling stories. Let me see if I can look up my own account here so I can see if anyone's asked me any questions. Oh, there, look at that. Okay, no questions yet, but hello, person that said hi. So one of the things that's made me the happiest when it comes to traveling is I went to a place called Baja, Mexico, and I was with my ex-drug dealer, my ex-weed dealer, and my ex-boyfriend at the time, and it wasn't really my ex at the time, but we went to this place called Baja, Mexico. It was this like, okay, so it was this desert. There's nothing out there at all. I mean, nothing. You drove for a really long way out into the middle of the desert, and then all of a sudden it was like this oasis right in the middle of nowhere because there was like hot water springs and stuff in there. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So speaking of, happiness and everything, we were driving, and I really believe that traveling really helps expand your consciousness. This might not be the best thing to talk about right now because everyone's on lockdown, which is fucking crazy, by the way. But we're driving through Mexico, and oh my god, I saw some crazy shit driving through Mexico. Oh my god. People with trucks, like regular trucks with stuff stacked so high. It was like, what? How is it not toppling the car over? But we end up going around this corner. And so, we're regular hills and stuff. We end up going around this corner, and all of a sudden, just like I I didn't see this coming at all. I never would have expected this was around this turn. It was the craziest thing. All of a sudden around this turn was the biggest plot of just dirt I had ever seen. It was like I was looking at the ocean, but it was dirt. It was like I was looking at a different planet. That I came around a corner and I was looking at a different planet. And it was just straight desert. And I was like, what? Where did this come from? So, okay, question. How do you get over a breakup? Oh, man. How do you get over a breakup? Let me finish this story and then I'll go into that. So we drive right out into the middle of nowhere, and it's like miles and miles and miles out there, and we finally stop. All of a sudden there's like these trees and stuff, so I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? And it was because there's this like oasis out in the middle of nowhere. It's like these hot water springs that come out of nowhere, and it's like this gorgeous place. It was the craziest thing. It was so pretty. So we get out there and we were all a little bit tired. My friend Chris had mushrooms, and we get out there and it's starting to get dark, and there were supposed to be other people there, but no one was there. It was just us. There was nobody else out there. So we get out there and it's starting to get dark, and I am so tired, but I was super paranoid because I was like, oh my God, I don't know where we are. It's starting to get dark. I had just seen, what was that movie? Hunger Games. So I was like, we can't light a fire because things are going to know that we're out here and they're going to come try to eat us. And we took mushrooms. So now I'm tripping, and I was super paranoid. So Chris goes back to the car to get the tent, and my ex is falling asleep behind me. And I could hear this thing moving around. It sounded like a big cat moving quickly around the perimeter of us. And I was like, you're in the middle of the desert. There isn't another human being out here for God knows how long, and you have no idea what's about to happen to you. And the guy that I was with, the other guy that was actually huge, that could have probably killed a cat if it, whatever kind of gigantic cat could be roaming around, was gone. So I used to carry a little knife with me all the time in my bra. I would just carry this thing with me all the time in my bra. Not necessarily for safety reasons, but maybe in part for safety reasons. But knives are just convenient, especially if you order a bunch of stuff on Amazon, like you need knives to open stuff. So my ex is falling asleep behind me, and I pull out this knife, and I'm like ready to throw down with a cat. And I have never, this is just one of those experiences that just really shifted my life. It was the middle of nowhere, right? So there's no light pollution. There's no in Miami or something, if you go outside, you can only see the stars because there's lights everywhere. There's buildings and stuff. It's just impossible to see the sky. It was a clear night, and I couldn't see the stars at all. And I'm pretty sure it was because I was so hyper aware. I was so hyper focused on my direct surroundings that I was just like, it was the weirdest thing ever. It was like different senses kicked in that I've never experienced before, and my focus and attention was just in a place it had never ever been before. And so that was one of those things, and that was one of the best days of my life. After he got back with the tent, I passed out in the car immediately, or I passed out in the tent immediately as soon as they set it up. And the next day we ended up walking around through these, going up to these hot springs, just these big rocks, and oh my God, it was so beautiful, just baking out in the sun. And I just imagine back, who knows how long ago, different tribes living out there, and how fun it would be to live outside. Oh my God. Oh my God, I think that would be so much fun to live in an area that, that you had stuff like that. The only problem I could really see with living outside would be bugs. You know, I like bugs. I'm not a not a bug person. I'm not gonna say, but I don't want them crawling on me or whatever while I'm sleeping, but I don't kill bugs or anything like that. So anyway, it's been 33 minutes. Well, it's 11:33, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna transition into that person's question about how do you get over a breakup. I got to admit, if you think the breakup is something that was like, if it wasn't you that caused the breakup, like if you didn't break up with them and they broke up with you, I think it's a perfect time to start asking yourself a few questions. You know, why did they break up with me? And there might not be a bad thing with, you know, and even asking them. And they're probably not going to tell you the truth. They probably won't be completely honest with you unless you ask them quite a few times. But if you detach from a situation and you really ask them, like, look, I really want to know what happened. I'm not trying to get you back, but I really want to know what happened. Please tell me why. Maybe they'll be honest with you, and then you can learn, you can learn. I used to quiz my customers at work after, whether they would dance with me or not, I would quiz people. So I didn't do it all the time, but if it was slow, I would. So I can remember on a few different occasions, I would approach somebody and I'd go through my whole spiel and ask them, try to sell them a dance. And if they turn me down and I tried again and again and again, or again and again, and they still turn me down, at some point with some people, I would eventually stop and be like, okay, look, I'm not trying to sell you anymore. I get it. Like, no hard feelings, no offense. But could you tell me why? Like, I just like to, I like to get better. I like to improve. And I'm just curious. Like, seriously, no hard feelings. It could be you're not my type. It could be you're ugly. You could tell me whatever you want. But I'm very curious why. And boy, I got the craziest answers, as to why someone would say no or yes. And they were things that I never, ever, ever would have expected. So to get over a breakup, like if you weren't the one that made the breakup happen, I would say, I like to improve though. So I would ask them what happened. Why didn't it work out? And if you're the one that did it, if you're the one that made the whole breakup happen, then then there was probably a reason. Through your planner, found out you were a dancer. Okay, he went through your planner, found out you were a dancer, said you lied to him, also wrote down your idea of a perfect partner in my planner, and it wasn't him. Okay, well, there you go. If he's not your idea of a perfect partner, why are you worried about it anyway? If he's not your idea of a perfect partner, why? There's like 8 billion people on the planet, Well, there you go. You manifested the breakup, girl. You manifested it. There's no problem with that because now you can manifest the right guy. I think that's awesome. I think that's a really good thing, actually. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that for you. Yeah, don't worry about it. Spend your time, writing down what you really want in a partner or writing down what you want in yourself. Who do you want to be? You're welcome. Write down the things that you really want in your own life. There's something I've seen around different entrepreneurial circles with women in particular. Well, I've also seen it with men too, but it's like it's like a checklist or whatever. It's like a 3-box thing, and it's married, single, or building your empire. Go build your empire. Figure out what it is that you really want and go after that. And something that I found that's very interesting is when you have a goal, when you're going after something and you're not always available, it's very attractive. Codependence, in my opinion, codependence, in my opinion, is not attractive. Now, some people need that. Some people really do. I don't know. I could not handle a codependent person in my life, though. Oh my God. And no offense to codependent people because, one of my best friends is codependent, like super codependent. And she would tell you that straight up herself. She got a book on it. It's a long time ago. I'm not sure where she's at on it now. I don't think she still is because I don't think she's with anybody right now. But, work on yourself. Work on yourself. Figure out what you really want. Learn how to be happy alone. God, I don't know. I'm very happy alone. I think it's really nice to have a partner that you are compatible with. But I think that that's really funny that you're upset that you guys broke up, and your reasoning behind that, behind why you guys broke up. He found your journal, and he found out he wasn't the right guy. I think that was a blessing. I think that's good. I think you got lucky. So, because some people don't make changes until their life is on fire. If you most people don't make changes until their life is on fire. That's something that Joe Dispenza talks about. Joe Dispenza is one of the most incredible people on the planet, by the way, for you guys that don't know who he is. He talks about quantum physics and your mind, how it can literally do everything. Your mind does literally everything. You can completely rebuild your whole body. I mean, our bodies are completely regenerating constantly on a constant moment to moment to moment to moment basis, but there are things that can happen to prohibit us from healing, like heavy metals and toxins. If these get stuck in your body, it makes it very difficult for you to heal because it's preventing that from happening. But according to him, and I believe him, you can still use your mind to heal. So I got so much stuff that goes through my head like all the time. But okay, for example, I found out something. I don't want to say this because I don't want to make it any more real, but at the same time, I know I'm going to fix it. Okay, I found out that I have Lyme disease. So Lyme disease can be really bad, and I probably got it 3 months ago. I found out that my mom had it and has probably had it for like 30 years. And Lyme disease can be one of the most horrible things ever because it mimics all kinds of things. Alzheimer's, MS, Parkinson's. You pick the worst diseases in the world and they could get confused for Lyme disease. And what Lyme disease is it's this thing that happens because you get bit by a tick. For those of you that don't know, ticks are like that big. I'm talking like they're like so small. It's stupid, and it can completely destroy someone's life. And I'm taking all kinds of stuff right now to get rid of Lyme, and I'm doing the same thing for my mom. So I'm taking tons of different supplements. This is actually part of the reason why I decided I wanted to do a 30-day talk about health, is because I'm digging so deep into health right now, and I figure, strategic stripping, right? None of us are stripping right now. So this is the perfect time to talk about health and well-being instead, because we're not working right now. So I'm taking all this stuff, all these supplements, doing all kinds of stuff, filling up my water with, oh my God, you guys, like so much stuff. And I can feel shit coming out of my body. Like I can feel toxins and stuff coming out of my body. And at the same time, I know for a fact that I can fix myself with my brain. And I'm like, God, that would be so much cheaper. It would be so much cheaper if I could just fix myself. I just don't know how to. So I really need to go to one of this guy's seminars, because oh man, if there's something I want to do like with my life before I die, it's go to a Joe Dispenza seminar, which I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a Joe Dispenza seminar before I die. Okay, and hopefully it'll be this year or next year. Hopefully it'll be at least next year. I also want to go to Burning Man. I want to do that before I go too. Okay, it's been 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Does anyone have any questions before I go? If anyone has any questions, I'll answer questions. I'll answer a question. And then if not, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I'll give you guys a second. I think somebody asked me a question yesterday, but I don't remember what it was. I was going to answer it, and I'm not sure. Anyone? No question? Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. She said no questions, but I love your podcast. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that a lot. This has been one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life, and and it was seriously, it was a nudge from the universe. And it wasn't just a nudge from the universe, you guys. It was like bitch, you better fucking do this kind of thing from the universe, because I thought about it for 3 years before I finally started it. And I was sitting there trying to think, what do I do for business? What am I going to do with my life? And all I could think about, and this is when I took a 3-year hiatus from stripping, all I could think about was all these girls that I used to work with that didn't know how to hustle. They didn't know they didn't know how to make money. And it was so hard for me to make myself go into work, just to go into work, right? That I didn't have the energy and the bandwidth to help them at the time. And plus, I didn't want to interject my opinion on these people that weren't asking for my help anyway. But after 3 years of, of hearing this little voice, put the information online, put it 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 online. And I had all these like issues with that idea. I was like, I really don't want to do that. And then finally I did it, and it's been one of the best things that I've ever done. So I really love you girls a lot. I appreciate you a lot. And this will get better. I really plan on doing this for a really long time. I'm working on getting more organized and working on actually creating lessons. It'll be like a lesson and then like a Q&A and whatever, but I got a lot to figure out. So thank you for bearing with me. Thanks for stopping by to see me. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the love and the comments and the support and everything. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna get more positive. Oh, I don't know if I just canceled this here. You're gonna get more positivity out of me, I swear to God. So it's on the way. It's on the way. Thank you for stopping in. There will be more tomorrow. Bye.